George A. Hormel established George A. Hormel and Company in 1891 in Austin, Minnesota. The company changed the name in 1993 to its current name, Hormel Food Corporation. When George started off, he was partnered with a man by the name of Albert Frederick, but they decided to part ways. This resulted in Hormel starting his own meat packaging and operation, which is how George A. Hormel and Company came into existence. In 1899, when business was booming, George decided to focus more on management full-time for the company to increase production. By the 1930s, Hormel's sales branch opened up in Houston, Beaumont, Chattanooga, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Newark, Los Angeles, Vicksburg, and Nuevo Laredo, Mexico. By 1941, Hormel's sales had reached $75 million, which created the idea for George and his son, Jay, to create the Hormel Foundation to keep flowing independence for the company. In 1955, 9 years after George died, Hormel expanded business internationally for the first time through agreements with companies in Ireland, England, Canada, and Venezuela. Hormel Food competes in the following industry: meat product manufacturing, fruit and vegetable processing, food service contractors, grain product manufacturing, bakery product manufacturing. The top three Hormel Food Corporation competitors are B&G Foods, Boarheads Provision and Company, Bob Evans Farms. Hormel's direct meat product industry competitors are Conagra Foods, Kraft Foods, and Tyson Foods. The main key publics are the customers, investors, suppliers, FDA, the food industry itself, and PETA. PETA is a key public because in the past the organization has sent some of their members to work undercover at a pig factory farm in Iowa to investigate the allegations of animal rights abuse to see how the animals were being treated. In international crisis, the company may face is sabotage by an employee that works at one of the packaging plants. An employee can sabotage by placing a type of meat in the incorrect package, such as placing pork sausage in turkey sausage packaging. This crisis could occur if there are unhappy employees that are working in the organization. To make sure that the employees stay happy, policies should be reviewed to make sure there are any loopholes to make sure that each employee is being treated fairly. Another way is to install a product to determine the weight that the package is to see if the correct meat was placed in the correct package. Another intentional crisis that could arise within Hormel is if one of the beef suppliers were not hosing off the cows correctly, ridding them of feces. If the cow feces got into the meat itself, it could turn into E. coli. The crisis can be avoided by requiring all the suppliers to sign a contract stating that they will clean off the animals the way that you have asked, and if the contract is broken, they will no longer be a supplier for Hormel. Another crisis that could happen is if a pipe were to burst during a workday. The pipe could burst all over the meat and other products, which could cause the meat to be tainted because there's no way to know if there were hazardous waste coming out of the pipes. In an even worse case scenario, a main pipe could burst, causing the plant to flood, and the employees could be in danger and not get out of the plant safely. This could happen if maintenance was not doing their job and making sure everything is up to code. It is also necessary to make sure not too much pressure is flowing through the pipes, which could also cause the pipes to burst. And the pipes should be checked once a month. An unintentional crisis that could happen at a plant is a natural disaster. Since Hormel has many plants all over the world, many tornadoes, floods, hurricanes, snowstorms, wildfires, earthquakes are all possible at many plants Hormel operates. A natural disaster could be detrimental to a company is a snowstorm. A snowstorm could happen and could keep employees trapped inside the plant for a long period of time without food and water, and them not being able to be rescued because the amount of snow blocking the doors and windows, or even the roads being unsafe for people to drive to rescue the employees. It is important that everyone at the plant is on the same page and knows what to do if a disaster were to happen during a work day. Another serious unintentional crisis is if a disease outbreak were to occur. If an employee is sick with something highly contagious and still comes to work and sneezed on the food, it could spread to all of the customers buying the food, which could cause an outbreak and could be very detrimental to the company. To avoid this, every employee should wear a mask and gloves on the preparation floor, and there should be a person that looks at each employee as they enter the plant to see if they notice something that is not right with them, to make sure they were sent home to get the correct diagnosis from a doctor. Thank you.